Okay.
If we're going to
Good.
film, I'm going to have my Zen ponytail. Okay. Really, not really.
So
Where are we?
we did a little bit about the will future tense in Spanish, and uh, the easiest way I can explain it, and we'll go into it a little bit more in a future episode, but so it's re or remos, ra, ras, ran. Those are the endings that you need to remember for the future tense in Spanish. That's the equivalent to putting will in front of the verb in English. I will do, I will be, I will have. It's not the most common.
Is it more formal then? Is that like it's not
It's,
as much casual? It's more proper.
I don't know. I I don't I don't think it's particularly uh, formal or any. I don't think it has any real feeling so much with it. But I know that the one that you're going to hear the most often, and the one that I'm going to teach is actually the easiest, is the equivalent of saying going to or go to in English. Literally translates as go to. So I go to or I'm going to would be voy a, and that literally the a is the to.
Voya.
Voya. So voy is voy, and then voya means I go to or I'm going to. And so I'm going to tell you would be voy a decirte, or
Voy. Sorry.
yeah, carry on.
Voy a decirte.
Decir.
Decir. Voy a decir.
Yes.
Okay.
So repeat that line again. So voy a decirte.
Voy a decirte. Voy a decir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Voy a decirte. And that's very good. I'm glad that you made a slight error there because we gave me a chance to correct you. The formal way to say that was the informal with the te. So voy a decir te, and that would be really for talking to someone you know or to someone younger than you. If you were talking to an elder or you were in a formal situation for some other reason, it would be voy a decirle.
Voy a decirle.
So that te becomes le. And because there's two verbs in this sentence, it goes on the end. That might sound a little bit complicated, but I'm just going to encourage you to repeat what I'm saying. So voy a decirle.
Voy a decirle.
And that's good. And that is correct as the formal sentence. In some countries like Colombia, that would be pretty much all you'd hear. In other countries like Spain, you would only hear it if you were in a very formal situation. So the word for late is tarde.
Tarde.
Muy bien. So very late would be muy tarde.
Muy tarde.
And then to make it's very late, you put es in front, so it becomes es muy tarde.
Es muy tarde.
Great. And then, so we know the word is más for more, and more or less would be más u menos.
Más o menos.
Great. Más u, más u menos.
Más o menos.
Very good. And that's obviously where we get the word minus in English. It comes from this word less in Spanish. We don't use it for that meaning, but we use it for the minus. We use it to mean subtraction. In Spanish, it absolutely also means less.
That actually, I did the más o menos, and it helped me learn it because it was the minus. So minus is less. Okay, so that
Yes.
helped it stick for me.
Great. For me that was the same thing. That has always been the same. I have to join it onto an English word I already know, and then somehow I'm able to remember it from that. So this we have that similar saying in Spanish. We have the saying more or less, and it exists in English. Also exists in Spanish. To say it in Spanish, you say más u menos.
Más o menos.
Very good. So to say later, you would actually say, it translates directly as more late. You would say más tarde.
Más tarde.
And to be is estar.
Estar.
So I'm going to be here later would be voy a estar aquí más tarde.
Voy a... Voy... Okay. Voy a estar aquí más tarde.
Very good. I'm going to do it is voy a hacerlo.
Voy a hacerlo.
I'm not going to do it now. No voy a hacerlo ahora.
No voy a hacerlo ahora.
Great. And we're going to give a little reason why. And we're going to speak this sentence as if we're female. So I'm imagining I'm a woman for this. Porque voy a estar muy ocupada hoy.
I've totally, let's see.
It's alright, take your time.
Porque voy a, okay. Porque voy a estar muy ocupada hoy? Is that the one?
Yeah, you make the question sound, you make the whole thing a question.
Remember the rising inflection.
Yeah.
So don't do the question
No,
sound
wait,
unless
that's
if
right
you know
here,
you're
yeah.
unsure.
Porque voy a estar...
Yes,
Because it's all just kind
but
of...
just don't make the questioning sound, otherwise it
Okay.
becomes the whole thing
Or
becomes
is it
a question.
Is it a statement, that one?
Statement, yeah.
It's a statement.
I was just... Is this the right question? Is this the right...
Is this
okay.
right?
Typical
Yeah.
second language learners to do
Okay.
it inappropriately.
Yes, okay.
Okay, 1 second. Go.
Porque voy a estar muy ocupada hoy.
Very good. And if we wanted to make that sentence masculine, so I'm back as a male now, the only thing that would change would be the A on the end of ocupada would become O, so it becomes ocupado. So I'm going to be very busy today, as in a masculine sense, would be voy a estar muy ocupado hoy.
Voy a estar muy ocupado hoy.
Very good. And the verb to call in Spanish is llamar.
Llamar. So to call in what sense? Like telephone call or?
It's actually all the senses.
Okay.
So it could literally be to call out, to make a telephone call. If you had a missed call on your phone, it would say llamada perdida. It would be literally missed call, or called. It's used in the same senses as we use call in English.
Can you just say that sentence one more time, please? It's used in the same sentence.
It's used in the same sense as we use call in English. Perfect. So pretty much every time you can imagine us saying call in English, you can say it in Spanish.
Okay, good.
And so I'm going to call you later. If you want, it could be a telephone call, could be anything. And I think it generally means in modern Spanish telephone call. So I'm going to call you later would be voy a llamarle más tarde.
Oh shit, sorry. It's 5 o'clock, apparently. Sorry, my bad, I forgot. In fact, I'm just going to turn it off. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Esta fuera. Okay.
Voy, voy a llamarle más tarde.
Very good. And that's the formal, using the formal way of saying you. If you wanted to make it informal, it would be voy a llamarte más tarde.
Voy a llamarte
Más tarde.
Okay.
Very good.
Can you repeat that?
Voy a llamarte más tarde.
Voy a llamarte más tarde.
So the lay is turned into a te, and this is a formal way of addressing somebody, or informal actually. So the lay would be the formal way of addressing somebody, and the informal would be to change that lay to a te.
I think I'm finally getting that.
And then it's a little bit confusing to begin with. Lay would also be to mean he or she, so it could be referring to somebody else, not the person you're talking to necessarily. And so, can you call me later would be ¿Puede llamarme más tarde?
Puede puede llamarme más tarde.
Llamarme.
Muy bien.
Puede llamarme más tarde?
Yes.
Is it llamar? Is it llamarme or is it llamarme?
Llamarme.
Llamarme. Yeah.
Okay. Puede llamarme más tarde.
Very good. And that is using again the informal. This is a formal because we haven't congregated puede. We've congregated puede in the third person. So this would be the correct puede for he or she or you formal. If we wanted to make it informal, we would add the pointing s on the end of puede, so it would become puedes.
Puedes.
So it would literally be the same sentence, just with the s on the end of puedes, and it would be puedes llamarme más tarde.
Puedes llamarme más tarde.
Very good. And to ask in Spanish, what time, or at what time, the word time is very close to the word hour, or in this sentence, it actually is the word hour. You would ask at what hour, and that would literally be how you would ask at what time in Spanish. You would say, ¿a qué hora?
¿A qué hora?
And if you wanted to put that in a sentence, at what time can you call me? ¿A qué hora puede llamarme?
¿A qué hora puede llamarme?
Very good. And if we wanted to make it informal, you would literally make the puede, you would add an s, so it would become puedes. ¿A qué hora puedes llamarme?
¿A qué hora puedes llamarme?
Very good. And so let's bring it back to the I'm going to. And so I'm going to call you informal would be voy a llamarte.
Voy a llamarte.
And you are going to, formal would be va.
Va.
Yes. And if you wanted to make it informal, and you would be, and to say going to, you are going to, informal would be Vasa.
Pasa.
Great. So we've just added an S on the end of the va. So va would be how you would make it formal. It would also be the way you would say he or she is going to. At what time are you going to call me? Informal would be ¿a qué hora vas a llamarme?
¿A qué hora vas a llamarme?
Very good. At what time are you going to be here tonight? ¿A qué hora vas a estar aquí esta noche?
¿A qué hora vas a estar aquí esta noche?
Great. And the other way to say this sentence, if we were using the other future tense, it would be ¿A qué hora estarás aquí esta noche?
¿A qué hora estarás?
Estarás.
¿Estarás?
Yeah. So this is the other future tense, which we haven't got written in.
So can you say it again?
¿A qué hora estarás
¿A qué hora estarás
aquí esta noche?
aquí esta noche?
Very good. So that's the other future tense. We're not going to spend too long on that future tense, on the will, the equivalent of saying will in English, because it's to my mind it's a little bit more complicated and it's used less frequently. So we're going to stick with the going to, or the Voya or Vasa. Where are you going to be later? ¿Dónde vas a estar más tarde?
¿Dónde vas a estar más tarde?
Very good. So that was the informal you're going. And so if you wanted to make it formal or to make it he or she, you literally just knock the S off of the vas. It would just become ba. So where are you going to be later? Do we do this?
You're not the formal, just the informal we did.
Okay. So ¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
Maybe do that one more time. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I just got to correct something.
Yeah, I don't think we said it right either.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay, Rich, can you do us a favour? When you speak, make sure you speak in that direction.
Right.
Because it picks it up much better when you do that.
Okay. ¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
Sorry, you're going to have to do that again. Carl just zoomed past. Wait 1 second.
Telephone.
And Carl. The world. Okay. Continue.
¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
Oh, fuck off. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, the Sierra Nevada lot decided to dump all of their trucks in the house next door. So it's 5 o'clock, so they're chundering around with their big Tonka trucks right now. So okay, sorry about that. Let's go from that donde está. Was it the one you were just doing?
Okay. Where are you going to be later? ¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
Great. And quite often they would run that all together. So it would be ¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
So it's ¿Dónde?
¿Dónde?
Yeah.
¿Dónde va a ¿Dónde va a estar más tarde?
Great. So it'll often can just sound. If there's a couple of vowels together, they'll often just run them together in Spanish. It doesn't matter if you write it with a space to pronounce it. They run together. So for all the verbs, the formal way we have been saying for you or your is the same as you would say if you wanted to say he, she, or it. For example, you are going to, va, also means he, she, it is going to. So you're going to do it, formal.
One sec. Sorry, I've got ears like that.
Okay.
Sorry, okay. All right. Okay. Continue.
You are going to do it. Va a hacerlo.
Va a hacerlo.
He is going to do it would also be va a hacerlo.
Va a hacerlo.
And again, it doesn't change. She is going to do it. Va a hacerlo.
Va a hacerlo.
Great. If you need to use a clarifier, if it's not clear who you're talking about, for example, ¿Dónde está? Could mean, where are you? Where is he, she, or it? You can add el or ella or usted or tú to make it clear, to make it really clear. I mean him, I mean her, I mean you. So you could say, ¿Dónde está él?
¿Dónde está él?
And then it becomes really clear that it's him you're talking about.
Okay, because I was wondering that how you would, because all the examples va a hacerlo was all the same. So then it's like, yes, how do we know? Okay,
Exactly.
so you can throw in the
You
el,
can,
ella, usted. Okay.
yes, you can. And it's usually tacked on the end of the sentence. It's tacked on the end of the sentence as a clarifier. It clarifies, okay, maybe the verb congregation wasn't enough, so I'm going to throw on this el or ella, or usted or tú, he, she, or you. I can make it really clear, and it usually gets tacked on at the end. And that, yeah, it's if you feel there's something you've said hasn't been clear enough, then you can absolutely tack it on the end of the sentence.
I look forward to the day when my Spanish is so good I can care about such nuances.
You're gonna get there much quicker than you probably realized. Where are you going to do it? ¿Cuándo va a hacerlo?
¿Cuándo va a hacerlo?
Where are you going to do it? Is cuando when?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry to.
No, you're right. When are you going to do it? Would be ¿Cuándo va a hacerlo?
¿Cuándo va a hacerlo?
Great. Where are you would be ¿Dónde está usted?
¿Dónde está usted?
Where is he would be ¿Dónde está él?
¿Dónde está él?
Where is she? ¿Dónde está ella?
¿Dónde está ella?
He is going to be here soon. Él va a estar aquí pronto.
Él va a estar aquí pronto.
She is going to be here soon. Ella va a estar. Let me start again.
There we go.
She is going to be here soon. Ella va a estar aquí pronto.
Ella va a estar aquí pronto.
Great. And if you took the ella off, then that sentence then becomes he, she, or you formal, and it becomes he, she. It's without the ella. It's he or she or you formal, and I guess in the context, everybody just knows who you're talking about. And if for some reason it's not clear, you can add on ella va a estar aquí pronto. So it comes at the front. What do you want? ¿Qué quiere?
¿Qué quiere?
If you wanted to make it informal, then it would be, you would add an S on the end. So, ¿qué quieres?
¿Qué quieres?
What does he want with the clarifier? ¿Qué quiere él?
¿Qué quiere él? So this is when it's at the end, the L, ella, etc. That's what you said it was at the end. Like this would be an example then of when the clarifier is at the end. So
It can go at both places,
okay.
quite often. So you could say que él quiere as well.
Que él quiere.
Yeah. But que quiere él, it's, yeah, I couldn't really elaborate more on that. Is
that more common?
It's
Stick
quite.
it at the end.
It's It sounds better somehow.
Okay.
Um, what does she want would be que quiere ella.
Que quiere ella?
And what do you have? And this would be the formal you, or he or she would be que tiene.
Que tiene?
And if you wanted to make it, what does he have would be que tiene él.
Que tiene él?
And if you wanted to make it she, it'd be what does she have would be que tiene ella.
Que tiene ella?
And if you wanted to make it you, making it really clear, this is a formal you, it would be que tiene usted.
Que tiene usted?
And if you wanted to make it the informal, it would be que tienes tú.
Que tienes tú?
And you don't really need a clarifier so much with that one because there's nobody else it can be if it's got that S on the end. It's got that arm pointing. It absolutely means you. And so the clarifier, it's the for the two version, it's not really necessary if you're making it informal. So if it was the que tienes, you could add the two for as a clarifier, but it's not really necessary. Que tienes is enough by itself.
Que tienes?
So again, what do you have? Que tiene usted?
Que tiene usted?
Very good. Ready to go. This word also means kind of clever. Be listo.
Listo.
So to say I am ready would be estoy listo.
Estoy listo.
And if I was a woman and I was speaking, I would say estoy lista.
Estoy lista.
And if we're talking to another woman and we want to say, "Are you ready?" Or we would say, "Estás lista."
¿Estás lista?
And if we wanted to make that masculine, we'd say, "Estás listo."
¿Estás listo?
Exactly. And again, if you wanted to make that more formal, so it wasn't to someone you knew, you would just drop the S off. It would be está listo.
Está listo.
And it would also be the same for is he ready? At what time are you going to be ready? So we're going to start off with the at what time are you, which would be a qué hora va a.
¿A qué hora va a?
And then ready or be ready would be estar listo.
¿Estar listo?
So altogether it'd be a qué hora va a estar listo.
¿A qué hora va a estar listo?
Great. And you can really run the going to and the going and to together a little bit. So at what time are you going to be ready would be a qué hora va a estar lista.
¿A qué hora va a estar listo?
Lista.
Okay, I'm reading. ¿A qué hora va a estar lista?
Yes.
Esta or esta?
But you're making a little bit of a questioning sound.
Okay.
A qué hora va a estar lista?
Okay. But it is a question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I wasn't doing the question. Okay. ¿A qué hora va a estar lista?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you can use a little bit of a questioning noise as it's a question. This sentence, because it actually has a question word in it, the what, okay? You can use a rising inflection if you want to, but it's not really necessary. So you could say it quite flat. You could be a qué hora va a estar lista, and everybody's going to know it's a question. because it's got the question word in it. So
But still better to have the inflection, right?
it's optional. It's totally optional, and it could be said in a flat tone of voice, and people just somehow automatically know because of the question word. This is a question. At what time is it going to be ready? Would be a qué hora va a estar listo?
¿A qué hora va a estar listo?
And again, this would be the same if it was a formal you or he or she, but we're talking about an object. We're asking, so you could be asking about a car that you was leaving with a mechanic, and you wanted to know what time it was going to be ready. So you come back at the right time, and you could be asking about the car. And so, a qué hora va a estar listo? What time is it going to be ready? It could literally be referring to an object. So, I want to know at what time would be quiero saber a qué hora.
Quiero saber a qué hora.
It is going to be ready because va a estar listo porque
Va a estar listo porque
I need it and I want to have it. Necesito y perdón. I need it and I want to have it would be lo necesito y tengo que tenerlo.
lo necesito y tengo que tenerlo.
And then today, if it's possible, would be hoy si es posible.
Hoy si es posible.
Great. So we've actually, let me, okay, so when we've said tengo que, it literally says I have to. So I've translated it as want to, but that in Spanish is a way to say have to, would be tengo que.
Tengo que.
And if you add que on the end of tango, it changes from tango by itself would be I have, and then tengo que would be I have to, or I have the responsibility. I have to do it.
Okay, that's good because I know tango and I know it's have. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't have it, and I don't want it because I don't need it now. So this is quite a long sentence. And hopefully not one you'll actually need in real life, but it would be lo siento, I'm sorry, pero no lo tengo.
Okay, do that again.
Okay.
But every time you say part of the phrase, give a space, give Celia space to repeat it.
Okay.
And then you do the thing all together at the end. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so up next we've got a bit of a long sentence, and we're going to break it up into two halves. And it literally translates as I don't have it and I don't want it because I don't need it now. Lo siento, pero no lo tengo y no lo quiero.
Lo siento, pero no lo tengo y no lo quiero.
Very good. Porque no lo necesito ahora.
Porque no lo necesito ahora.
Very good. Excellent. So all together would be lo siento, pero no lo tengo y no lo quiero porque no lo necesito ahora.
Lo siento, pero no lo tengo y no lo quiero porque no lo necesito ahora.
Great. So I just want to give a special. These past few episodes, I'd like to credit Michelle Thomas He lived from 1914 to 2005. He was a renowned linguist and language teacher, and he was awarded the Silver Star by the USA for his bravery in the Second World War. He died of heart failure at his home in New York on the 8th of January. He was 90. He was a language expert in the French military and the resistance, teaching officers conversion tricks to speak other languages quickly. He was a Polish Jew refugee, and he later became a language teacher in the USA. And yeah, he was all about teaching French officers how to speak other, at this time, European languages, how to speak them very quickly. So he would really teach basic grammar and the conversion tricks as a way that officers would be able to communicate with other officers from other militaries. And another conversion trick, and this one trick works for over 1,250 words. All the words that end in tion, so all the words that end with shun, exist in Spanish. Pretty much they all exist, and it becomes sion in Spanish. So intention is intención.
Intención.
Mention would be mención.
Mención.
All the words that end in ation in English, because you pronounce the letter A in Spanish as a, becomes acción.
Acción.
So information would become información.
Información.
Distraction would be distracción.
Distracción.
Intention would be intención.
Intención.
It's my intention would be es mi intención.
Es mi intención.
I'm not really sure what was happening there.
Someone recording you.
It's still luckily recording. I think it's still recording this.
Oh, is it filming?
show.
Are you filming yourself?
Thanks everybody. So we're just gonna run through this last little cognate conversion trick, which is the shun to the sion to shun, or shun to sion. So all the shun words in English, tion, and actually this applies to most of the words that end in ion as well, and they become sion in Spanish. So do we get up to it's my intention would be es mi intención.
Es mi intención.
And so it's is es and my is me. It's not my intention would be no es mi intención.
No es mi intención.
Very good. So thank you very much for listening to the this podcast. Next episode will be a little bit more of an intermediate, so we'll be talking a bit more about the future and past tenses, and I'll be teaching you how to speak about in the past, about as it would be the equivalent of saying I have done in English. So it won't be. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you say I did or I used to do, as but they need a lot more conjugations in Spanish to speak that way. So so at least you'll have some way of talking about the past, and I think the easiest is to say I have done in Spanish. That seems to be by far the easiest. And I'm going to teach you how to the basics for how to do the others, so at least you'll be able to recognize if they're being used with you, and you can respond using any of the past tenses you know. I'm going to teach you how to say that I have done. To my mind, is a little bit easier than I did or I used to do. And for those of you that are interested to know these cognate conversion tricks, I would encourage you to download the cognate conversion trick sheet which is available on my website, www.learnspanishwithrich.com.
www.
www.learnspanishwithrich.com. And I highly recommend that you download this the Cognate sheet. It's an easy way to get going if you're an English speaker.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Rich. In post, we'll get you to re-record that little sort of fill in about if you want to download the Cognate conversion trick sheets, sign up, subscribe to the webpage, blah blah blah. We'll do that section proper. So it's like a little addition at the end kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can
Exactly.
add it to each episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So maybe I can do another little thing now. For those of you interested in these Cognate conversion tricks, that's the tricks to take English and make it Spanish very easily. I'm gonna have a sheet showing these Cognate tricks, these conversion tricks, and it will be available to download on my website, www.learnspanishwithrich.com. So I invite you all to download these conversion tricks. They're very, very useful. I'm going to run through them a little bit now. So some of them we've done already, others we haven't. I'm going to run through a few examples.
Okay, hold it there. I desperately need to go for a wee. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll leave that running. I'm just going to pop out for 2
Okay.
minutes. You just read through it, and I'll come back in
Right.
2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to run through. These are the quick and easy ways to make Spanish if you speak English. So to identify the Latin English, all you have to do, really, in my opinion, is recognize the end of the word. So if a word ends in ible or able, you change your pronunciation and you make it Spanish. It becomes ible or able. So terrible,
Terrible.
visible,
Visible.
probable.
Probable.
Great. So you just said terrible, visible, and probable. And so all the words ending in al in Spanish, they would stay the same. But you change your pronunciation. So local become local.
Local.
Personal would be personal.
Personal.
Central would be central.
Central.
So you really, very well done. You take each syllable and you say it, and then you say the next syllable. And in English, we have a habit of kind of blurring our pronunciations a little bit. And in Spanish, you just don't do that. You say each syllable, as you have been doing very well done. And again, so all the OR words ending in OR, they would stay the same in Spanish, and it would just, again, your pronunciation would just change. So doctor would be doctor.
Doctor.
Actor would be actor.
Actor.
Pastor would be, as in priest, would be pastor.
Pastor.
So all the shun words in English, so transformation, information, invitation, they would all exist in Spanish. It just becomes acion at the end. So transformation would be transformación.
Transformación.
Información.
Información.
Invitación.
Invitación.
Very good. So you take each syllable and you really say it, and you make sure you pronounce every letter in that syllable as well as you can. Spanish pronunciation is actually quite easy. Most of the letters only really have one sound. And there's a couple that change slightly depending on the word letters that are around them, but most of the time it really does just have that one sound. And in English it's a little bit complicated. Sometimes a letter has one sound, sometimes it has another. And in Spanish, it's that letter A in Spanish always has the sound A.
Ah.
So we're going to move on to the next trick, which is all the words in English that end in ick or ickle. So these could be words like political, dramatic, romantic, all of those words. they exist in Spanish. It just becomes ico at the end. So political will be político.
Politico.
Typical would be típico.
Tipico.
And dramatic would be dramatico.
Dramatico.
Very good. And romantic and sarcastic would be romantico sarcastico.
Romantico. Sarcastico.
Very good. The next set of tricks are all the words ending ant or ent in English. That identifies these as Latin words, and you just add the sound a on the end, so it becomes ante or ente.
Ante. Ente.
Great. So important would be importante.
Importante.
President would be presidente.
Presidente.
Client would be cliente.
Cliente.
Great. So all the words ending in ty in English would become dad in Spanish. So publicity would be publicidad.
Publicidad.
Activity would be actividad.
Actividad.
Reality would be realidad.
Realidad.
Very good.
All good?
Yeah,
Sorry about that. Oh yeah.
that's okay.
So are we done?
No.
I think we're doing the last one, yeah?
We're coming through the last few cognates. I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure I've got them all before I move
All right,
on
yeah,
to
fair
the
enough, cool.
intermediate
Okay,
classes
cool.
next week.
All right.
So, all the
What's-
words, another way to identify Latin English is the words ending in os. So the words ending in ous in English, and they exist in Spanish, and they would become oso. So really, listening wise, you're just adding the word o on the end. So delicious would be delicioso.
Delicioso.
Curious would be curioso.
Curioso.
Furious would be furioso.
Furioso.
Very good. The words ending in ode in English would become just ud in Spanish. So gratitude would be gratitud.
Gratitud.
Aptitude would be aptitud.
Aptitud.
And altitude would be altitude.
Altitude.
And the next cognate conversion trick would be words ending in id in English. They exist in Spanish, most of them, and it becomes ido. So vivid would be vivido.
Vivido.
Rapid would be rapido.
Rapido.
Timid would be timido.
Timido.
And next trick is the words ending in iv. So ive. And they exist in Spanish too, and it becomes ivo. So active would be activo.
Activo.
Explosiva. Explosivo.
Explosivo.
Hey, what's that? What's the English?
If.
But what's the word?
Oh, explosive.
Explosive.
Yeah. Explosive would be explosivo.
Explosivo.
Creative would be creativo.
Creativo.
Very good. So the next one is all the words ending in mum in English. They exist in Spanish too. There's a bit less of these, but it's worth knowing, and they become mos. So optimum would be optimo.
Optimo.
Maximum would be maximo.
Maximo.
Minimum would be minimo.
Minimo.
And another trick that's worth knowing is the SM words. The words that end in sm. So they would become SMA, SMA, or SMO. Sorry. So optimism would be optimismo.
Optimismo.
Great. And so you're really taking each syllable and you're You're saying it as clearly as you can, which you're doing. That's sounds fantastic. So pacifism would be pacifismo.
Pacifismo.
Sarcasm would be sarcasmo.
Sarcasmo.
Very good. Next is all the words ending in "ari" in English become "ario" in Spanish. So primary would be primario.
Primario.
Salary would be salario.
Salario.
Voluntary, voluntario.
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 Very good. All the Ori, O-R-Y words, so glory, history, they exist in Spanish too, but it becomes Oria. So glory would be Gloria.
Gloria.
History would be Historia.
Historia.
Victory would be Victoria.
Victoria.
Great. So the next cognate conversion trick is all the words ending in aid, so A-D-E. Aid. All those words like barricade, escapade, cascade, they exist in Spanish, and it becomes ada. So ADA is what it becomes. So barricade would be barricada.
Barricada.
Escapade would be escapada.
Escapada.
Cascade would be cascada.
Cascada.
Lemonade would be limonada.
Yes, exactly.
Limonada.
Well done. And next up is ist. So this is often referring to somebody's profession, and it becomes ista. So artist would be artista.
Artista.
Pianist would be pianista.
Pianista.
Fascist would be fascista.
Fascista.
Great. And so next up are the words ending in U-R-E. Becomes U-R-A in Spanish. So agriculture would be agricultura.
Agricultura.
And caricature would be caricatura.
Caricatura.
Texture would be textura.
Textura.
Excellent. Well done. Thank you very much to Celia and to Matt for helping me record this. I really appreciate your contributions. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias a ustedes.
De nada.
Gracias. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I learned actually quite a lot.
Well, that's good to hear. Always really good to hear. I'm really glad that you've learned something and it's been enjoyable. It's been definitely enjoyable for me. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done, everybody.
Yeah. Well done. I'm really glad that you, and I genuinely mean that. I'm glad you guys have been here. Thank you very much.
This has been one hell of a ride. I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've looked forward to this session every week. Actually, I have to say.
Yeah.
Really. This has been it's really good fun, and I'm learning, and it's helping me a lot as well. And,
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, no, really. So I am now going to hit the stop button and say that is a wrap. How do you say that is a wrap in Spanish? Like that's a wrap.
I don't know. That's a lot of these slang words don't translate. Or
Okay.
you
Or you would, I guess you would say ya está, for example.
It'd be like that's enough.